7% back on all purchases. Home of the Nebraska Power Hour every night from 8 to 9 p.m. Order online at thelmkgrill.com or stop in at 84th and Highway 2 today.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Is your heating system ready for cooler weather? Call Bryant to schedule your fall heating check. No matter what brand, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
You have a big investment in your farming operation. Let Landmark Implement help you get the most out of your equipment by investing in pre-season service inspections. Let our John Deere trained and certified technicians provide you with a complete list of repairs that will help your equipment perform better and deliver maximum performance. At Landmark, buy 3 equipment service inspections and get the 4th free. Contact your local Landmark service manager for details and experience the Landmark difference.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Hello, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I was noticing on your website, you have more than 150 new 2024 and 2025 Hondas in stock right now.
Yes, we do, Charlie. It's neat when you drive by and see all the cars on our lot, and we have most all models and all different colors available, and we even have more than hundreds on the way. We also have the all-new, all-electric 2024 Honda Prologue in stock right now. We have a few of them to choose from. Plus, qualified buyers get financing from just 1.9% APR.
How about your pre-owned selection?
I talk to a lot of my customers and friends, and they still think that we just sell brand new Hondas, but we sell all different models, make of pre-owned cars, and we have more than 100 to choose from right now.
Well, maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
What a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh, yeah. This is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better. Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday night from Concordia University as we bring you Class B playoff action as the Seward Blue Jays host the Omaha Catholic Skyhawks. Seward survived a scare against Gretna East last Friday and now face a 10-1 Skyhawks squad who defeated Waverly 38-21 on Friday. It's semifinal Friday with a trip to the Class B title on the line as the 2-seed Seward Blue Jays face the number 3 seed Omaha Catholic Skyhawks this Friday at 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for 3! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NEPCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
That it is. Welcome into a Hump Day show. I'm Austin. He's Strick. Gray, rainy, overcast. Kind of blah day, Stricky.
Yeah.
But not in here.
Yeah, and I just tweeted, obviously, about the show and what we've got going on the show today. And part of that was, it's rainy, it's dreary, it's cold outside, but boy, oh boy, it's hot inside on the block. And so we thank all of you for joining us each and every day, each and every week. The engagement that you've given us this week has been absolutely incredible. So we're grateful. We're grateful for another opportunity. And there's a game tonight. There's a game tonight down in at the Pinnacle Bank Arena against FDU. So we're going to go down there and check that out, and
that we will
see what the Huskers are going to be able to do. Is I think there's a slight ramp up of the competition, and so I think this will be another test that they can learn and grow from.
If you're at Pinnacle Bank Arena, Stricky will be there. I'll be there. Stop by and say hi. Wave at us. We'd love to see you. Love to meet you. Put a name to a face. We'll be there. If you're there again, just stop by, say hi, give us a wave, all that good stuff. Let us know you listen to the ticket. Hopefully to On the Block, obviously. Stricky, before we dive into some Dana Holgorsen numbers, we're also grateful for Nebco, Starter Human Jewelers, and Aloe for everything they do for us here on the show. But it's National Signing Day today. You still had to sign, even though you were walk-on, right?
I am a certified walk-on.
But you still had to sign, right?
No. Did I?
No
sign?
letter of intent for you?
I think I did.
Come on, Eric Strickland needs a signing ceremony.
I think I did have one. Yeah.
Was it just you? Was it teammates and other athletes? Do you remember how Bell West had it set up for you?
I think it was, if I remember, that was a long time ago.
Not that long.
I think it was. I actually think it was just me, or it might have been them. It might have been. It might have been others, but I can't remember. I can't remember if it was just me or not. Wow, that's crazy. It wasn't like.
Do you remember anything about your signing?
I don't.
There's got to be pictures out there somewhere, right?
Man, that was a Polaroid. Did I just tell how old I am? Probably a Polaroid.
You're still going on 50.
Man, I know. 40 actually.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Yeah, that's what I meant. I
about 10 years off.
My bad.
No, I can't even say. I can't even say if that's the case or not. I don't remember. If it was just me, I remember doing it. I don't remember. I know it was in Bellevue West. It was at the gym. No, it wasn't in the gym. It was kind of in the Commons area, I think, if I remember.
Did you have balloons or anything? Purple and yellow balloons?
Nah, it wasn't as elaborate as it is.
Tablecloth?
No hats.
Did they give you a tablecloth?
No, it
Nothing?
was basic, man. Just
go
basic.
sit at your lunch table?
It was just basic, bro.
Willie asks, did you and Cluster have the same signing ceremony?
Cluster's a year ahead of me.
There you go.
So no, Cluster went out 91. I'm 92.
So you just aged yourself. I didn't do it.
Well,
that's on you. That is not on me. Don't put that on me anymore.
I know there were guys that went to I know Peru State. I think somebody went to Kearney. I just can't remember if we all did it together. I can't, because I signed early.
Right. Get it out of the way. So you got it done.
So I think I was solo, because I think my other guys didn't sign until after the school year. If I remember correctly, because I know I did. I signed early.
Do you like it where you can have your individual signing to highlight each athlete, or would you like it as a school-wide thing, so all the athletes sign the same day, same ceremony?
I think it can be seasonal. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have minded if football guys. I've got to say that our football team wasn't like it is now.
Sure.
So we didn't have a lot of guys that were going to D1 programs and stuff like that.
Hey, but basketball's still the same though.
But yeah, basketball. I mean, we had a good cycle of guys. Doltzlers, dang near the whole family. Who else? Obviously now you have Will Kyle, Chucky, and then
Jaden Jackson. Is that his name?
Yeah, Jaden Jackson. Yeah, because where did Jaden sign? It was a South Dakota State. Yeah, him too. I know UNO was going after him really hard. I thought they had him for a while, but shout out to him. I've got to give appreciation for South Dakota State. They do a wonderful job. They do a wonderful job of understanding who they are, training guys, moving them on, and them having a lot of success. So
indeed. You know, we had Mikey in here not too long ago talk about the Nebraska Jacks, right? It's right down the road. Great programs, men's basketball, football, even baseball's been up and not, I don't say up and down, but they've been fine. Had a little bit of a resurgence as well. So, hey, good for them. That's a well-run university. Let's dive into some Dana Holgorsen here, Strick. I sent you some numbers. I texted them to you that I thought really stood out in a couple different ways. I think the first thing that stood out to me was, air raid this, air raid that. I didn't look at number of carries necessarily because we'll get into that here in a little bit of time when we get into run-pass ratio. But Dana Holgorsen has been an offensive coordinator, an assistant OC, or a head coach for 19 seasons. And I was just curious, okay, how many times has Dana Holgorsen put up what I consider a good rushing offense? For me, Stricky, anything that's 4.5 yards per carry or above, you can get away with. So for 19 seasons, out of those 19 seasons, Dana Holgorsen's teams have run for 4.5 yards per carry over half the time. That's 10 seasons out of 19 where they've run for 4.5 yards per carry or more.
Yeah,
now,
so throw that out the window.
Right. That narrative is kind of gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
The years that they didn't run for it was 2007, really setting up the great Harrell and Crabtree year. They had his first year at West Virginia, they only ran for 3.8. Then his first 2 years at Houston, they were at 3.9, so just under 4 yards per carry.
But wait,
there's more.
There's more.
What you got?
2 years at West Virginia, he went for over 200.
Yes.
I mean, the numbers were high, but I'm talking about yards per game.
Yeah.
So,
but he did it efficiently, 4.8 and 5.2 yards per carry.
That part. And those West Virginia teams, a lot of those were supposed to be high-powered, big bomb, downfield type teams. But to be getting 200 yards a game is absolutely phenomenal as well.
BJ asks about the yards per game as well. That's fluctuated quite a bit.
But there's only really been 4 seasons that it's been just abysmal.
Yeah.
Out of all of them, really is only 4 seasons where it's like terrible.
Yeah. So to answer your question, BJ, yards per game, just looking at it, let's just look at the years that he ran for over 4.5 yards per carry, right? So the first time he did that as an OC was 2006 at Texas Tech, 78 yards per game at 4.6 yards per carry. Okay, not great, not overwhelming at all, but when they did run, they did it efficiently. The next year was the year they ran for 60 yards per game on only 3.1 yards per carry. That's a problem. But then you get 161 at 5.2, 130 at 4.5 at Houston. Then his lone year at Oklahoma State with Brandon Weeden as his quarterback, 175 yards per game at an even 5 yards per carry. That's pretty good. Next time they were over 4.5, 172 at 4.8, 230 at 4.8, 228 at 5.2, the years that you picked out there, Stricky. 161 at 4.5 per carry, 190 at 5 per carry, and 142 at 4.6 per carry.
That's solid. I mean, to be honest, if you're here at Nebraska, I would take the 142 for 4.6.
Right now, absolutely.
Right now.
Yes.
I would take that.
Mm-hmm.
I would take that. Because I still don't think we've identified a bell cow, and I still think vision is in question for the running backs we have right now.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, like,
as in their ability to see the field.
The ability to get that ball and have an innate sense that hole is closing. Pause. And there's something going on this left side, and let me, one cut to the left, jump cut to the left, go get that, break somebody down. Because I don't think we have, our yards after catch. No, I'm sorry.
Contact
mm-hmm. are very, very small.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's got to be maybe a yard, but under a yard. I mean,
Nebraska's not running anyone over and not breaking ankle tackles.
No,
consistent.
No, they're once in most cases, once they get contact, they're going down.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an area I think we want to get better at too. Just some form of shiftiness and ability to get that extra. Now they get it with push, But
Sure.
a couple, in some instances, every now and then, but for the most part, I'm talking about being able to make a guy miss and get that extra 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting room there in the running back, at the running back position, Strick, because you go get Dante Dowdell out of the transfer portal.
I like him.
I do in theory.
Yeah.
Ramir Johnson's been around for a while. Emmett Johnson has shown flashes as well. And that's really the three guys that are playing right now. Gabe Irvin was in the conversation at the start of the year. Haven't seen much or any of him really since non-conference in terms of any consistency. Strick, I think there's a few aspects to this conversation. Number one is Nebraska needs to run the play the way it's been called, right? That's the way you get everyone on the same page. You don't have miscommunications. You know what to expect. It's at that baseline level of expectation. Okay, that's fair. But then it comes down to within the scheme, maybe the play is designed to take you left. Is there anyone stopping you from, hey, this initial read is covered or is closing too quickly? I recognize the backside guy crashing down. I can bounce it outside. I don't think there's anyone stopping Nebraska running backs from doing that, which leads me to this question that I don't know if we have the answer to, but I want your sense of. Do you think that Nebraska running backs just don't have the ability to see that backside guy crash down and bounce it outside? Are they not physically able to do it? Or do you think some of that comes from film study and a better understanding of this is my first read for us? This is how the defense will typically line up and defend a play like this. Here's where I can throw them the changeup, catch them off guard, and bust a big run.
I think where that comes is you can't just, okay. What makes it difficult is there's so many things that come with offensive and defensive schemes and how they work. You've got not only what the play is, but you've got to monitor if there's any audibles. There's so much that can go through the mind of a running back, what your blitz coverage is, or what the audible change is. Where's the assignment for the for this particular formation? Am I on the left side, the right side? Has it changed? Do I shift? Do I need to go in motion? You've got all these different things depending on what's going on. That's just that facet of it.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I think you need to know, as a running back, all facets of each system, meaning linemen, running linebackers, and then where the DBs are set up.
Where they typically fit.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where you need to be able to scan that quickly. So not only know what the play is, know what the audible is, know what the formation or the shifts are in the formation, and then I need to make a scan and take an immediate picture in my mind of what's going on, what I see in the front. Pause there.
Mm-hmm.
But then what are they doing after snap?
Right.
So think about how complex that is, just to think about it, right? Like, so it's difficult, but that's what you need to know.
Not guess.
Not guess.
No.
No. So if they're slanting, if they're stunting, if they're crossing, if they're straight gapping, if they're doing whatever they're doing in that moment, similar to a basketball player, right? You can become robotic, and you need to be able to make an adjustment. That's if you get the ball on the run, someone flies at you, that just reactively, you can throw it behind your back, go. And then if someone reaches between the legs, go. You know what I'm saying? Like,
not because they're trying to be fancy, because it's the play to make.
Just what they gave you, you just need to be able to react. And that's what so that's what I'm saying is when that happens, you need to be able to see, oh, they're slanting. If they're slanting, now you need to know what the blocking scheme is. So that way you'll know who's coming free, who's going to probably have a shot at me, so I can be ready to react, jump, spin, or do something if what happens. So there's multiple things in your mind that you need to play these games with, because if it happens, then all of a sudden you can react to it. That's what made a guy like Barry Sanders so amazing.
Yeah.
Because he was so reactory before, but he understood the full dynamics of all of that as it was happening.
It wasn't a guess for Barry Sanders.
No.
It was anticipation. And there's a difference there. If you're guessing, you don't know what you're reading, you're taking a chance, hoping it works out. If you're anticipating, You know what the play is. You know what the coverages are, where people are coming from, where they're not coming from. You see that pattern, right? Because that's really what a lot of this is what are we lined up in? What are they lined up in? It's pattern recognition. How do I fit into the pattern? Then how do I break the pattern and make a big play? We haven't necessarily seen that from Nebraska running backs this year.
That's a fact. Now, let me give you an example of what that looks like on the wide receiver side. Is knowing where they are, possibly what scheme they're in, who my guys assigned to block, who's probably going to be the one that comes at me, and from where. So that's just one instance. Now I'm running a pattern, and it's a curl pattern, it's a stop pattern, it's whatever that pattern is. Knowing where they're leveraged, where they're going to come from. Do I catch it, spin out, catch it, hesitate, go, catch it, So now you kind of have to understand, and this is what make guys who catch balls, pause, and are able to do things, i.e. your Debo Samuels types. They kind of have an idea of what guys are, where they're at. If I catch it, okay, I need to stop here because there's a linebacker right here. He's going to probably try to plow me. So I either need to drop down or I need to make some form of a move, a cut, or something to throw him off. And then you have to understand space. You have space, what they call spatial awareness.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Whether you're a slot receiver, a tight end, a running back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spatial awareness was exactly the phrase I was going to use.
Yeah. So that's kind of what in a nutshell of what I'm saying.
Couple more Dana Holgorsen numbers before we go to break and bring in Evan Blando of the Omaha World Herald. Again, Strick, same 19 seasons for Dana Holgorsen in charge of an offense. Again, we're being told air raid, right? 7 seasons out of the 19, Dana Holgorsen has passed the ball, 56% of the time or more. 8 seasons out of the 19, it's been within a 55-45 split. Still pass heavy, but within what I think Husker fans would say is acceptable is probably 55-45, right? Pass to run is probably the upper end. They don't want getting to where Dana Holgorsen was his 3 years at Texas Tech. 66% pass, 34% run, 75% pass, 25% run his last 2 years at Texas Tech. Nebraska fans won't like that. Even 60-40 that he was pass to run at Houston and 65-35 the second year. Really, though, since he took over at Oklahoma State, Dana Holgorsen has essentially lived within that 55-45 ratio. That's 8 seasons out of the first 5. So 8 out of the next 14 seasons, he's been within that ratio. And then 4 other times, Stricky, he's run the ball more than he's passed it. He had a 60-40 split the year that his teams ran for 230 yards on 4.8 yards per carry. A 58-42 split on the season that they went 228 yards at 5.2 per carry. And it wasn't because they had some amazing passing game or to set it up or some amazing running back that ran their system. This is something that gets me a little bit more excited about this Dana Holgorsen offense, Strick, is you think about him elevating Michael Crabtree. You think about, Tavon Austin and Stedman Bailey at West Virginia. But the leading rusher for West Virginia those 2 years, the 230 and the 228, someone by the name of Wendell Smallwood and then Justin Crawford. Guys you never heard from again. Yeah. Right? We think about Nebraska having this future NFL guy at quarterback. But what Dana Holgorsen has shown the ability to do is craft good offenses with fringe NFL talent.
And based on what he has.
Yes.
And based on what's successful. Like, it's not like he's trying to fit a circle in a square peg.
Right.
It's that he understands, we're having success. Our line is quite down. It's like he makes the adjustment. That's what it looks like to me. If you just look at it, they had a style when he was with Texas and in the early stages of Houston. And then it's like he began to adjust depending on what he had, what type of quarterback, what type of game, maybe what type of line. And that's what it looked like to me. He was able to make the adjustments. And that's what I'm hoping for here with us.
We will certainly see. The other interesting kind of stats to look at was Matt Rule said, I heard him say, try to add 10 to 13 points per game. Other people are saying he said 15 points per game. It's essentially the same range. But Strick, I looked at the end of the year where Dana Holgorsen's offenses rank. Nebraska right now is at, I believe, 28.3, 28.6 points per game and 18.3 in conference play. In Dana Holgorsen's 19 years in charge, he's had 9 seasons that have been above the 38.6 points per game. He's had 5 seasons that are between 33.6 to 38.6. So that would be adding the 10 to the 15 points right there. And 5 seasons that have been less than the 33.6. Those seasons were his last year at Houston under 24, put up 30 in a 53rd ranked scoring offense in the pandemic year in 2020. 2019, it was 30.7 at 51. 26.3 points was the other time that he put up less than that. And 31.2, I guess, was below the average, both at West Virginia.
Well, what I noticed about that, he's only had 2 years that's been only 2 that's been under where we are now.
Under 30.
Under.
And under where Nebraska is. Yep.
Under where Nebraska's at. Only 2.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all his
Out
career.
of 19.
So even if we did 7 points better, it's better than where we are right now.
Ain't that the truth?
You know? Yeah.
Let's go to break. We'll call up Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. Maybe some more Husker thoughts from you guys on the text line. Husker basketball thoughts with them hosting Fairleigh Dickinson tonight. Some NBA thoughts. Lots going on in the association. We'll get to all that in hour 2, but Evan Bland joins us next.
Follow Austin, Strick, and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting book. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
You have a big investment in your farming operation. Let Landmark Implement help you get the most out of your equipment by investing in pre-season service inspections. Let our John Deere trained and certified technicians provide you with a complete list of repairs that will help your equipment perform better and deliver maximum performance. At Landmark, buy 3 equipment service inspections and get the 4th free. Contact your local Landmark service manager for details and experience the Landmark difference.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
We fix basements.
We fix basements.
We fix basements.
We fix basements. We fix basements.
At F Foundation Repair, we've been fixing basements for over 30 years. We're your local foundation repair experts. Our warranties stay here. Our people work here. You can trust us to take care of your home. Go to WeFixBasements.com to learn more.
League One Volleyball is coming to Omaha this January. Featuring Olympic medalist Jordan Larson and Justine Wong-Arantes, Love Omaha Volleyball is Omaha's newest pro team. The inaugural season will showcase some of the world's best volleyball players, from medalists to NCAA champions and international superstars. With the action kicking off on January 24th at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Visit LOVB.com for more information and to purchase tickets. Volleyball is the next major league.
The Link Grill, Draft, and Crafts is your spot in Southeast Lincoln for great food and drink. They're serving new menu items and a killer craft cocktail menu with your favorite draft beers. You'll love their pizza and new entree option. It's a great place to watch any live events, and they have music bingo every month. They have an aggressive loyalty program that rewards fans with 7% back on all purchases. Home of the Nebraska Power Hour every night from 8 to 9 p.m. Order online at the LNKGrill.com or stop in at 84th and Highway 2 today.
Attention students and anyone else looking for a great deal. Sun Valley Lanes and Games has the ultimate weeknight special. For just $15.95, enjoy unlimited bowling, lucky putt mini golf, and laser tag. Flash your college ID at check-in to receive $2 off your admission. It's the perfect way to unwind Sunday through Thursday nights. Check out sunvalleylanes.com for hours and availability. Sun Valley Lanes and Games, located at 321 Victory Lane.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete. Sun Valley.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland with you. We go to our Aloe Fiber VIP line. Strick, what does Aloe Fiber understand?
The importance of exceptional service with local heart.
That they do.
That's what they do.
That they do. One guy that understands how to write a darn good story, darn good release. Evan Blaine with
there he is.
With us on that Aloe Fiber VIP line. Evan, happy cloudy, rainy Wednesday. How's it going?
Happy Wednesday, guys. Doing well. How are you?
ED, what's going on, man?
What's up, Strick?
You staying cool? Warm and not rain on?
You know, trying. Like, this could be snow. Like, that's not out of the question this time of year, so I'll take a little drizzle.
That's a fact.
It won't be raining and drizzling at the Major League Baseball Desert Invitational. Are you already looking forward to that on a day like today?
I mean, yeah, sure. A warm, dry weather in Phoenix in mid-February. Hopefully that's the case. So, yes, we finally have the opponents for that particular games or the particular weekend. So, yeah, we can talk about that if you want.
Let's do it. UC Irvine, Vanderbilt, and Tony Gwynn, San Diego State. When you look at some of these other, early season invitationals that Nebraska has been to, where does this field kind of stack up with the rest of those in terms of level of competition?
Favorably. I think through the years, Nebraska's played a lot of, when Darren Erstad was the coach there, they went down into the Anaheim area a lot and played in their spring training complexes. And what they've tried to do under Bolt lately has been you try to pick one really strong non-conference weekend. They had a series in Dallas against TCU a couple years ago. But I think this year, they have a few. I mean, the Frisco Classic is right up there, I think, with that opening weekend. You got LSU in that particular field, and Sam Houston and Kansas State was a regional team. So, I mean, I think that weekend's as strong as any. But getting Vanderbilt on opening weekend is that gets your attention. I don't know if they'll be ranked, but they're a perennial power in college baseball. And Irvine, kind of the same thing. They've been a fringe top 25 team lately. And then, San Diego State hasn't been quite as good, but it's a warm weather school early on, and those are always challenging and don't really hurt your RPI too much. So I think it's the kind of tournament that you schedule for if you're Nebraska, if you have a veteran team that you feel good about. And I think that's kind of where they are with so much production back in the lineup and in the rotation. Like, you feel like you can probably hit the ground running with a bunch of juniors and seniors that are fairly known commodities, as opposed to breaking in a new team with a portal, a bunch of portal transfers or freshmen or whatever. So it should be a really quick gauge for what Nebraska baseball can be, and one of those early chances to build your RPI and your postseason resume with really not too much downside if you lose those games.
Nebraska's had varying levels of success at some of these invitationals in the early season. If Nebraska plays well in a tournament like this, does that usually portend good things down the line? And if they play poorly, is that usually a down year come March and April?
Yeah, I mean, I think that history would tend to agree with that. I mean, you think about 2019 when they beat a top 5 Texas Tech team. That ended up being really important for their at-large situation. When they beat Vanderbilt a couple years ago, it kind of felt like that might have been something that would kickstart them, although it didn't necessarily end up that way. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the truth of what these Big Ten teams at least have been facing historically, is you really need to improve your resume and get those wins in the non-conference, because it's a whole lot more difficult to make up any ground or to make an impression in Big Ten play. And maybe that changes this year with USC and UCLA and Oregon and Washington. They've all had their moments on the baseball field in recent years. Maybe that does change the conversation for that league and its RPI. But typically, yeah, I mean, you want to win some road series. You have major opportunities to boost that RPI. And I think the way that Nebraska's scheduled it has been the way you have to do it if you have postseason ambitions, which is to schedule strong and know that even if you lose your fair share, it doesn't necessarily ding you too poorly. I think the worst case is if you schedule easy and then you as a northern school still struggle out of the gates. That's really hard to come back from, and one of those deals where you almost have to win your conference tournament. So I think this aligns pretty well for Nebraska, where you have a strong team. It's going to be one of the favorites in the league. You have a schedule that matches that, and if they play well out of the gate and sustain it, I think there's probably going to be talk that maybe hosting a regional is not totally out of the question. Again, something they haven't done since 2008.
That's the opening weekend, but I pulled Nebraska's schedule back up, and Evan, I think we might have mentioned this before, but I think it bears repeating. Really, outside of Pepperdine here in mid-March on the road, as Nebraska makes a California road swing, Nebraska's got plenty of opportunities, it looks like, in the non-conference. It's not like it only has to hang its hat on, coming out of the gates hot, playing well in opening weekend, with Grand Canyon, Louisiana, and then even the Frisco Classic. It does sound like what you're setting up is it's a great opportunity for Nebraska, but not a resume killer just because of how many opportunities might be left in the non-conference too.
Yeah, for sure. And then you think about their off weekend in the Big Ten. You've got Oregon State coming to Haymarket Park in late March. Like that's been a national brand for 20 years now. So, they're scheduling nationally. And yes, it is a little bit different, I think, Austin, in that sense where, even 3 or 4 years ago, it might have been, hey, you have your big weekend, but then you're playing maybe a smaller school on the road and you better take 2 out of 3 or it could ding you up a little bit. Even some of their home games, 2 years ago, Nebraska made a concerted effort to say, we're going to go away from scheduling a lot of these Summit League teams, and we're going to swap that out for games against Kansas and maybe another game against Kansas State. And you still have your 3 against Creighton, which has had some pretty strong RPIs in recent years. And you have Wichita State. So I think what they've really done is tried to maximize the reward from winning those games and minimize the risk of losing them. And so, scheduling college baseball is different, I think, than a lot of other sports in the sense that, if you schedule really strongly and you win, say, half of your games and some of those come on the road, like you're in a decent position to have an at-large bid. And I think you almost have more risk if you schedule lightly and just the nature of baseball and kind of how it can be quirky sometimes. I think that does expose you potentially to losing some of those games. And then again, really putting yourself in a tough spot by the time you get into April and May.
It's National Signing Day, and Evan, I really like the piece that you guys ran about Nebraska baseball kind of in the future, moving forward, looking at the roster. Sounds like it's going to be down from a 40-player roster down to 34, and Nebraska really trying to figure out how many scholarships that it's going to offer. You said that based on what the conversations you've had, Nebraska isn't setting a number, but settling somewhere in the low 20s. How does that compare nationally and then to the rest of the conference as well?
Yeah, some of that's still being worked out. Like the SEC, for example, hasn't settled on a number, but I think their teams are looking at saying, hey, let's cap it at around 25. I don't know that a lot of even the majority of the Big Ten schools will increase by all that much. I would think Nebraska would be right among the leaders in that regard. Maybe you put Oregon in that group. Maybe you'd put Indiana or Michigan potentially in that group. And a lot of these schools don't have to say necessarily. Like they can keep that stuff in-house or just, among its players and recruits and things like that. But it does seem like it's a situation that will benefit Nebraska just because of its commitment to baseball and the attendance that it has and the support and everything else. And I think that's what's interesting about this 25 class is it's kind of that first, clue maybe about like what level Nebraska can recruit to when it is able to open up some of its resources that it wasn't allowed to do by NCAA rule before. You're seeing its high school class is a top 40 group right now by most outlets. And that's pretty impressive considering, again, they didn't even know a lot of the numbers that they were operating with until recently. And most of that's not even final still. So I think it probably portends positively for Nebraska for what it can do in the future. And I do think the group that it's bringing in this class is pretty impressive too.
The other aspect of that then is the roster size getting knocked down from 40 to probably 34. When you look at that from Nebraska's standpoint, does that hurt Nebraska because it's a program that maybe needed to take those 6 extra flyers, get guys in the program and just see what they had? Or if Nebraska is going to be a development first program, is it maybe more reps for other guys that Nebraska coaches can focus on within the 34?
Yeah, I think there are things that everyone's going to be hindered by when you go down to 34. Obviously, your depth is less. I think you'll probably see, almost the elimination of red shirts in baseball. And Nebraska hasn't done a ton of that, but they have done it some. Guys like Carson Yasa, who could potentially be a difference maker for them on the mound this year, was a red shirt guy last year. Will Walsh, who's on the roster, was a red shirt guy. So they have done that, but I think when you get down to 34, you probably lose some of that luxury. But I don't think the impact is going to hurt Nebraska as much as it might some of the other schools that have made a practice out of oversigning. You see that a lot in the SEC and some other places where they'll bring in 50 guys in the fall, and then they'll trim it down to 40 or whatever the limit is at the time as it goes on. And so kind of the rumblings are that schools will have to declare their 34 by the start of fall. And so that really, if you're playing kind of the numbers game there, that puts Nebraska, I think, on an even level with some of these other schools that, again, have been willing to bring in a bunch of guys and then they trim it down and cut it in time for the season. So certainly there are things that Nebraska is limited by, but I don't think that it limits them as much as maybe it does some of these other schools.
This is also maybe speculative, but we're not too far removed from Major League Baseball playoffs. And a lot's made about the rosters, the breakdown number of hitters versus number of pitchers. Do you get a sense that Nebraska would be, 50-50 position players and pitchers? Probably lean a little bit more towards the pitching side, especially in college, maybe a 15-19 split. Where do you think Nebraska ends up in the future with the 34 spots it has available?
Yeah, that's a good question. I haven't really thought about the positional breakdown. You would think it would probably be, a little bit heavier on the pitching than it would be the positional side, just because of the nature of things. I hadn't really thought about this until we're talking about it, but Nebraska has been a place that's been very open to two-way players and giving guys a chance to go both ways. We've had this conversation on your show here with Jake Myers over the years, or Colby Gomez, or Luis Alvarado. Like guys like that suddenly become even more valuable in the 34-man era because you're essentially filling 2 spots with one guy if they can be effective in a bunch of ways. So maybe this is a way to sort of encourage sort of that two-way offering that Nebraska can have. And as we've said, like Shohei Ohtani has proven at the highest level that it's possible. And so I think a lot of kids, and maybe more than 5 years ago, are aspiring to doing something like that. So maybe that's a little area where Nebraska can have a little bit of an edge as well. But I think with just their emphasis on pitching and kind of that being the forefront of what they do and why they win games, I would think they'd probably allow for a little bit more room for those pitchers to develop and contribute.
We're talking with Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald here on our Aloe Fiber VIP line. A little bit of football too, Evan. We were in the room for the Matt Rule press conference when right off the rip, he announces maybe the 2 biggest pieces of news he could have announced. And that's number 1, Dylan Raiola was going to try and practice on Tuesday. And the Dana Holgorsen was the offensive coordinator, effective immediately. What else did you take away from how Matt Rule addressed those 2 topics?
Well, I thought it was funny. The delivery was very understated. Like he just kind of, said it very matter of factly out of the jump, and then was like, "Yeah, I'll take any questions you have." And it's like, "Yeah, there's going to be some questions after 2 little nuggets like that pop out." But the Holgorsen situation and conversation is very interesting. You don't make that move, obviously, if you're not worried about right now. And clearly there was a recognition of the urgency of these last 3 games and getting to a bowl and showing progress as they move into December and all the shakeups, personnel and things that are almost certain to occur in that month. So I think you have to acknowledge that and appreciate that he saw that in that moment, and it was a time that they needed to act. But I think the long-term discussion is just as interesting when you talk about a guy who has, background in the air raid. Like, what is this if he were to be around in 25? And Rule said he would like Holgorsen to be around in 25. What does that mean for what Nebraska's offensive philosophy is going to be? Will it be radically different from what it has been, or is it just more of a simplified approach to what they're doing? So I think there are so many interesting questions that come out of that. And then, of course, just even for this weekend, what does that mean at USC? How different can Nebraska's offense look with its new play caller having been in the building for less than 2 weeks? Like, it's, as far as I know, it's an unprecedented move this late in the season from a modern college football program. So really kind of a fascinating situation there. And then you mentioned with Raiola, I mean, on any other week, that would be the leading item of discussion is, hey, is this going to be Raiola back out there, or is Nebraska going to have to go to, its number 2 quarterback for yet another season because of injury? And so I think the bye weeks obviously would help Raiola's case to play, and we'll find out Thursday from Matt Rule, I guess, what the status is of that situation. But man, what another wrinkle when you're talking about a new play caller, and now you potentially are trying to figure out which quarterback you're going to start, and they both have very different skill sets in their own right. So it leads to some high intrigue in California, and what a script, for the field right next to Hollywood.
Ain't that the truth? I mean, you look at it, these big moves for a program just trying to get to win number 6, just trying to get to bowl eligibility, kind of says a lot about where things are. But let's not pretend like things are smooth for Lincoln Riley and his team in Southern California either. They turned to their backup quarterback, Jaden Mayava, who had a good year last year. Lincoln Riley's USC tenure hasn't worked out the way people thought it was. Evan, both teams have 3 games remaining. It kind of feels like these teams just have a little 3-game season left. Nebraska off its second bye week, USC off a bye, I believe, as well recently. But both programs are full of drama, and maybe not in the way that, the powers that be in college football want them to be dramatic.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the way Nebraska-Wisconsin is going to be next week, where you've got these 2 teams that are really just trying to show some progress and break through. And I mean, you look at USC's last 2 games after Nebraska, it's UCLA and it's Notre Dame, and here's the Trojans sitting at 4 wins. So they need to find a way to win 2 of these last 3, or they're missing a bowl game under Lincoln Riley. And so, yeah, he's not going anywhere. You look at his massive buyout and all the rest, but it's a program that just, it needs some spice, some rejuvenation, some excitement. Maybe they'll find that this weekend. I know they broke ground last week on a player development facility somewhat similar to what Nebraska unveiled this year. So there's some momentum there around the program. They're just ready and waiting for those wins to come. And so you don't make a quarterback change in November unless you're really feeling the pressure on that. So certainly this is not the mid-2000s Trojans with Pete Carroll and Matt Leinart and whatever. Like, this is a group that's trying to adjust to the Big Ten and kind of find its identity where it is now. And it's going to make for a really interesting game between 2 teams that could really use a win.
And I think that Husker fans are probably grateful it's not the mid-2000s Huskers either.
Well, I mean, they've seen that one. They saw what happened in 2006, and I guess it was mission accomplished for Bill Callahan and company not getting blown out. But, they were never really in that one either. I think this one will be a little bit closer.
Sure better be. Nice old-fashioned helmet game there in the Coliseum on Saturday. Evan, as always, appreciate your time. Have a good rest of your week.
Thanks. We'll see you later.
Evan joined us on our VIP line, brought to you by Aloe Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. It's one of those things, Strick, when the Big Ten expanded the way it did, sure, when Nebraska joined the conference, USC wasn't part of the long-range plans, but you get a game like Ohio State, Oregon. You get a game like Penn State, USC, Nebraska, USC now. Yeah, I don't think the Big Ten imagined USC and Nebraska both, trying to scrape by to bowl eligibility as part of its master plan.
No, that can't just be it. That can't just be it. It's you have to look at it with some form of disappointment. Not in whole, but when are you going to turn the table or the page, or like you said, the script? Like it's like so far it's been like a bad movie where
certified rotten.
You know how some of those movies start off with all kinds of excitement, all kinds of actions, everything's going, things is happening for good, bad, nothing really bad, something good. And then all of a sudden you hit that middle point of the movie and it's like, and then you're wondering what's going to happen. Who's going to die? Who's going to pass? Who's going to be the next loss, or who's going to fail at the mission, or whatever the case is in the movie. What's going to be the end of the script? What's the crescendo?
Yeah.
Is there a crescendo? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're hoping that it's not a bad movie.
Yeah.
That just all the good people don't win. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what you're hoping, and we don't know. And as he said, they're going out to Hollywood. They've got a chance. They've got a chance to turn the page. And I've been there, Austin. I've shared this story with the blockheads. Those know it. You've shared it. 10-game losing streak in bad and big 8 play.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do from here? What script are you going to write? Is it going to destroy, kill, end your legacy of what you've built, or are you going to change the narrative?
Mm-hmm.
Because I guarantee you, no one remembers 10-game loss unless I tell them.
Right.
All you remember is there's a banner up there that says NIT champion.
And you and I gonna go see it tonight.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Well, how are you going to change your narrative? And they've got a chance to do that.
It reminds me of the Urban Meyer thing, event plus response equals outcome. It's all in Nebraska's court right now.
Yeah.
They play well. They handle it emotionally. They'll be fine. So we'll go to break. If y'all thought I was done talking about Bobby Witt Jr., think again. We got some news.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
We fix basements.
We fix basements.
We fix basements. We fix basements.
At F Foundation Repair, we've been fixing basements for over 30 years. We're your local foundation repair experts. Our warranties stay here. Our people work here. You can trust us to take care of your home. Go to WeFixBasements.com to learn more.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Bryant at 402-467-1111 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-1111.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Attention students and anyone else looking for a great deal. Sun Valley Lanes and Games has the ultimate weeknight special. For just $15.95, enjoy unlimited bowling, lucky putt mini golf, and laser tag. Flash your college ID at check-in to receive $2 off your admission. It's the perfect way to unwind Sunday through Thursday nights. Check out sunvalleylanes.com for hours and availability. Sun Valley Lanes and Games, located at 321 Victory Lane.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete. Sun Valley.
You have a big investment in your farming operation. Let Landmark Implement help you get the most out of your equipment by investing in pre-season service inspections. Let our John Deere trained and certified technicians provide you with a complete list of repairs that will help your equipment perform better and deliver maximum performance. At Landmark, buy 3 equipment service inspections and get the 4th free. Contact your local Landmark service manager for details and experience the Landmark difference.
As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186.
Is your heating system ready for cooler weather? Call Bryant to schedule your fall heating check. No matter what brand, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday night from Concordia University as we bring you Class B playoff action as the Seward Blue Jays host the Omaha Skutt Catholic Skyhawks. Seward survived a scare against Gretna East last Friday and now face a 10-1 Skyhawks squad who defeated Waverly 38-21 on Friday. It's semifinal Friday with a trip to the Class B title on the line as the 2-seed Seward Blue Jays face the number 3-seed Omaha Skutt Catholic Skyhawks this Friday at 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the block. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland with you.
That we are.
Stricky, you hit 1,000 in your baseball career, didn't you?
I wish I did.
750?
High school, I hit 450. He's either 453 or 458.
I was a 400 guy in high school, not 450s, but yeah.
That means you getting on.
I put bat to ball.
Now I was a gap, double, triple, and if I hit one out, it was gone quick. It was out like a light. It wasn't the big bombs.
Not Majestic, not Towering, no Griffey.
Yeah, I didn't hit the Griffies. I didn't hit the Griffey. That thing, it was out. Yeah.
You also didn't hit the Slugbusters, did you?
And look, I think I told you this before, but when I got to the pros, I even did it in high school, and I didn't even realize it. It just was a part of me. But I did it in the pros a couple times where I caught one, and I knew I caught it, and I would be up to bat, and I would be like, ah, like I dunked you, like you dunked one really hard or something like that. And I would scream like, oh, and then I got back in, and I'm gonna go see him on my birthday. Eddie Christian, my man down in Phoenix, he was my vet. He was my vet. We was roommates, and Eddie was like, bruh, you can't do that, Strick. He's like, you can't do that. He's like, because the next person might get one thrown at his ear. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess it's kind of a show up. So I had to kind of monitor myself. But there's something else I had to monitor too.
What's that? Your boys?
Man, listen. I saw something today, Austin.
Yeah.
I know we need to get to your boy, Bobby Witt.
Oh, we will.
But I saw something today, and a tremendous first baseman by the name of Mark Grace. You remember him?
I know the name.
Cubby? Yeah. Left-hand Cubby.
Yep.
I liked him because he was just smooth. He wasn't like the big lefties that you have, but he can hit. Mark Grace would go through some slumps at times. Yeah. And he said, every now and then when the karma wasn't working, I had to go get me a slump buster. And
Eric
I was like,
says preemptive pause, Strick.
Preemptive pause. You already knew. I said, well, what's a slump buster? And then he was telling a story about how, he'd go into the club and, sit down, and in order to change his karmic cycle or whatever, he said he'd find the ugliest and the biggest or whatever in there and treat her like she was the queen of whatever Ethiopia, for the night. Like she was queen, like she was Princess Diana for the night, and break the slump buster. And he said he would get busy the next round. He said, not pause. Not literally, but and on the diamond.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever heard of that.
Stricky
never had slump buster moments.
I suppose that makes sense.
No, I went to slumps, but I never understood what a slump buster was until today. Do you think Bobby Witt Jr. has slump busters?
No, absolutely not. No shot. Let me shout out Salvador Perez before I get to Bobby Witt Jr. Salvador Perez named Silver Slugger in the American League for the 5th time. Tied for the 5th most by a catcher all time, behind some names you've heard of. Mike Piazza, 10 of them. Ivan Rodriguez, Pudge, 7 of them. Brian McCann, more recent guy, 6 of them. And Lance Parrish, with 6 of them as well. All right, Stricky. This is where I'm going full Bobby Witt Jr. propaganda mode on you here.
Uh-oh.
Imagine, just imagine having the highest batting average in Major League Baseball and hitting 32 home runs and stealing 31 bases and setting single-season team records for extra base hits and total bases and winning the Silver Slugger and winning a Gold Glove and being an all-star in the same season. Can you imagine that?
That's amazing.
You'd be Bobby Witt Jr.
That's amazing. Hey, but you know what we need to do one day?
Get Bobby Witt on the
I've
show.
got a breakdown because it's going to be a Barry Bonds. It's going to be a Barry Bonds against Shohei Ohtani. We're going to break that down.
Versus Bobby Witt Jr. We're going to break that down.
Break that down. You might be surprised at what numbers come for.
Stricky, there is one shortstop in Major League Baseball history in his entire career,
Derek Jeter,
to have won a batting title,
Derek Jeter,
a Gold Glove, and a Silver Slugger.
Derek Jeter.
A-Rod.
I was going to say A-Rod. I just was throwing Derek Jeter out there just because it was
trash.
A-Rod.
He's overrated.
A-Rod, yeah. It was A-Rod when he was with the Rangers, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But Stricky.
I remember that. I was
Batting
living there.
title, Gold Glove, and Silver Slugger. A-Rod was the only shortstop in Major League Baseball history to have all of those in a career. Bobby just did that last season.
Is he going to have
and he's 24 years old.
Is he going to have a slump buster moment?
And he's 24 years old.
Is he going to have a slump buster moment next year?
No.
You're excited about where it's going, the trajectory. You feel good about the trajectory. Huh?
I do.
All right.
Will he put up the same numbers next year? It's going to be difficult. But again, dude's 24.
He's
not
a young
even
buck.
his prime yet.
He's a young buck.
Ain't that the truth? People got some thoughts on the text line. We'll get to those on Nebraska football, then some NBA headlines. All ahead an hour or two of On the Block, brought to you by our great friends at Nepco.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, showers likely throughout the day. It'll be breezy too with an afternoon high around 54. Tonight, mostly clear skies with an overnight low near 33. And tomorrow, we'll see more sunshine return along with lighter winds. An afternoon high around 59. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tanner's Bar and Grill is the best place in Lincoln for a casual get-together, best place to watch a game, and the best for pre- and post-game. Catch college and NFL football as well as the volleyball action this season at Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. What's better than wings, cold beer, and a Husker win? Enjoy great food and drink specials every day and tons of TVs to catch all the action. Tanner's Bar and Grill, 30th and Yankee Hill.
Hey everybody, this is Chris Beecham from Brand Lincoln Podcast and Perch Merch, your go-to in Lincoln for printing and promotional needs. Speaking of that, we are running a huge hoodie sale now through November 30th to save you big money on great brands. 20% off everything from Nike and Bella Canvas pullovers to Gildan and Port & Company sweatshirts and district fleeces. Get yours for your group or organization today by calling us at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Kawasaki dealership. Score big on Kawasaki's all-new Ridge lineup. The Ridge XR, the Ridge HVAC, and the Ridge Limited. All built to take on your day with a full factory cab, including heat and AC. Stop by Indian Motorcycle of Lincoln today and rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of November. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln at 27th and I-80.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Hey, ticket listeners, spend your Husker football Saturday at the P. Dale Pub in Pleasantdale, as the Jay Foreman postgame show will be broadcasting live for 90 minutes immediately after the Nebraska-USC football game. Ribeyes are on special for as long as supplies last, with plenty of cold beer on tap to enjoy during and after a Husker victory against the Trojans. It's the Jay Foreman postgame show, live from the P. Dale Pub in Pleasantdale, this Saturday, immediately following the Nebraska football game on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, wanting to thank you all again for your continued service. November is off and running. Check this out. Get up to $12,000 off or 0% financing on select new vehicles. We have great lease specials with new Trax and Trailblazers starting at $299 per month, and new Blazer EVs leasing for $399. Great payments, discounts, and of course, 0% financing. So make that short drive down 144th Street or check us out online at CoppellCars.com. You'll be glad you did. All finance with approved credit, leases with $2,500 down.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NIPCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome in, hour 2 of the show, brought to you by our fantastic people over at NIPCO. They are hiring for constructors, all positions. They've got immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Join the crew today. Be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. Laborers start at $23 and up based on experience. Visit NEBCOInc.com or ConstructorsLincoln.com to learn more. We've got some comments here on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line, as well as our Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream. Appreciate them for all that. 402-464-5685 if you want to join in on the conversation. Cubsker says, Judge can't do what Bobby Witt Jr. did because all he does is smack dingers, pretty much. Brian says, I'm rolling so hard on Slump Buster. And Eric said, Strick, would you have treated your Slump Buster like she was Halle Berry?
Yeah, you had to. That was the goal. You had to. That's why you probably had to get very saucy. It would have been I don't even drink tequila, and I probably would have been on tequila.
You would have lost your Slump Buster's phone number?
No. I would have had to go through with it in order to break the
slump.
So I just have to. I don't drink tequila, but it probably would have been heavy doses of tequila to make it through.
Tequila not classy enough
enough
for you?
eye candy. I like eye candy. It just doesn't work for me. Mexican. Like I'm talking about legit Mexican tequila, not the stuff that they say they're from there. No, I'm talking about like I'm not buying any tequila unless I land in Cabo or Cancun. I won't be buying anything tequila. Let me just say that. But I will say.
But you would for your Slump Buster.
I would have for the Slump Buster. I would have had to. I will say the best tequila probably that I've had just being in the States wise is a tequila called Sincora. I believe I almost said Michael Jackson. Michael Jordan I think it's a Michael Jordan tequila. And it was the best one that I've had. It's a tall bottle. It's like a kind of a brown bottle to it. That was probably the better of the tequilas that I've had as far as in the States.
That is a very classy bottle.
It is pretty dope.
Interesting.
Yeah. Sincora. That was the best one I've had.
The more you know. Yeah, it was MJ. Let's see. With Wick Grausbeck for the Celtics, Jeannie Buss of the Lakers, and Wes Edens of the Bucks.
Yeah.
How about that?
It's I guess it's an NBA special. You think about it.
The more you know.
Yeah.
We'll get to the NBA here in just a little bit. Lots going on in the league. We've got some questions on the text line here, though. Let's see. BJ in Wichita. Can Dana Holgorsen elevate an Emmett Johnson to that number one back next season, or do you get that guy out of the portal? I like Dante Dowdell, but his hips are tight and he runs like a fullback.
He does. Not very shifty.
No.
You know what I mean?
Which makes you wonder if it's in there and he's not using it, or if he doesn't have it.
That's going to be interesting to see. And maybe he just, I don't know. I don't want to limit him. I don't want to put him in a box or anything, but we're going to need, we need something. We need something with some great vision. I think Emmett Johnson has it. I think he has it. I just think that sometimes he tries to do it when it's not needed.
Is that a young guy that hasn't played much, trying to do too much in the few reps he's getting?
Possibly, and that's possible, because I've seen him do some things last year that I was like, wait a minute, we got something here. So I believe it's there. I just I think he probably just needs some more reps.
We had this conversation a little bit yesterday, but I think it bears repeating today. Old Dad 34 will get to your question, Oprah Winfrey, as well here. We know there's not going to be these big whole-scale, sweeping changes to the offense, at least not right now. It's going to be simplification. It's going to be pared down. It's going to be streamlined, I think would be the way to look at it, Strick. But Matt Rule also said to Dana Holgorsen, whoever you think belongs on the field, put on the field. I am fascinated to watch the personnel groupings in these next 3 games, who is on the field and how they're being used. How much of it is the same and how much of it is different? Because, yeah, some of the guys will graduate. Some of them will hit the transfer portal. But I think Nebraska has felt pretty good about its young stable of playmakers at the skill positions. I'm curious to see if Dana Holgorsen goes with the older guys that have been on the field because he thinks he can make it work, or if he says, screw it, let's take the reins off. Freshmen, you're essentially sophomores now. You're 9 games in. Show me what you got and audition for next year.
I think there's going to be a little bit of that. I think you'll see that. I think you'll see. I don't think to me, I envision Coach Holgorsen going like, I'm gonna throw different guys in there, and who's hot, like in basketball.
Yeah,
you have a deep bench. You've got guys that come off the bench, and I was watching the games that checking into some of those things, and you saw that in some of the games Like I want to say the Kentucky game, maybe. I have to go back. I've got the box scores up here, but the bench players came off and played better than, and then the minutes reflected that because they were giving you what they needed off the bench, right?
Yeah,
that's what I think you're going to see is a little balance of a little bit. Get you out there, see who can create separation, see if I give somebody. Because obviously, in all play calls, especially for quarterback, it's a 1-2. If I can create more time, I can get to 3 and maybe dump off 4, or I may get to 1-2, dump off quickly because of pressure. Right?
Yeah.
I think you'll see probably a rotation of what's 1 and what's 2, maybe even out of the same formations. We might go. 1, he can't really get open. Okay. I might run the same thing, but I might run it from a 2 side. You know what I mean? Who was the 2 or the 3 from the last play based on maybe what I see and what I'm getting from upstairs. You think he'll sit upstairs?
I don't know. We'll determine that on Saturday. I tend to prefer offensive coordinators that sit upstairs
so they can see the whole landscape.
Right? I don't know how Dan.
Some people like
operates.
to get the feel of the energy of the game. So we don't know. But I think you could probably see something like that, where then you're going to be able to see who's getting separation, who got separation on that one. Just maybe Dylan missed him, didn't have time or whatever. Let me come back and give him another look. I think you might see some of that in this game. So we'll see. I don't know.
The next 3 games, really, because it is a 3-game.
Yeah.
Well, less of an audition for Dana Holgorsen than some of these players. But on that, Strick, guys that are kind of auditioning for the guy that Matt Rule wants to be the next offensive coordinator for Nebraska, I think you and I have both said it enough times, but we'll just get him out of the way. Carter Nelson, right? Versatile piece, has flashed at times. Does Dana Holgorsen think that's a guy that can help Nebraska, especially since his red shirt's gone? How he uses Ja'Cory Barney Jr., we talked a little bit about yesterday. But in that receiving room, Strick, there are 2 other guys that stand out to me to see if they get used and how they get used. Malachi Coleman, buried on the depth chart, playing a lot of special teams on punt block team at one point as well. Does Dana Holgorsen say that frame's too good? Let's give him another shot, see what he can do out there. And then Jalen Lloyd, right? Not really been utilized consistently this year, right? Hit or miss, kind of spotty. That's fine. Whatever. I have no qualms with that because I still think Jalen Lloyd is learning some of the intricacies of the wide receiver position. I'm going to be curious to see if Dana Holgorsen sees Jalen Lloyd as a legitimate field stretching weapon, if he sees him as that, run after catch guy over the middle of the field, clear out space and let him go to work, or if Jalen Lloyd's one of those guys that maybe gets, continue to be buried.
Yeah. I can't speak, but I think he has potential. I mean, he's already shown he could. He's capable. I mean, even if what you're going to see from Malachi Coleman, you know what I mean? If you're going to even see him. So, I mean, it's interesting to talk about and mention, but we really don't know.
The other one is Janarin Bonner. It's a guy Nebraska's loved, but Dana Holgorsen is really just now seeing.
Bonner, to me, I think they were initially just really using as a slot guy to hopefully be able to, and it's shown that it really hasn't been effective.
No.
Not very good at blocking. Oh, I think he's okay at catching in certain routes. He's not going to be a deep guy. He doesn't have that type of speed. How is he going to use him if he decides to use him? Are you going to probably see a change in the starting lineup based on? Because I don't envision Bonner in the slot to start.
No, probably not.
Because I'm sure Holgorsen's watched the film and saw, okay, I can understand what you're trying to get here, what you're trying to do and accomplish. It just hasn't really worked. So he might just go a different route. I don't know. That's the fun thing about what's going on right now. It keeps you on your toes.
True. Old Dad 34. My question is, if we keep Holgorsen after the year is over, will the air raid offense work in the Big Ten? Old Dad 34, we gave you numbers on this. We did in the first segment of the show. We'll go over them here quickly. 19 seasons as assistant OC, as OC or head coach for Dana Holgorsen in Division I college football. 10 of his 19 seasons, his teams have averaged 4.5 yards per carry or more. 7 of his 19 seasons have been 56% to 44% pass to run ratio. 8 of them have been within that 55-45 range. So he's not just slinging the ball all over the yard like you think of as the air raid. In the scoring offenses, 11 of his 19 seasons have finished in the top 20 and 15 of 19 within the top 50. So yes, the air raid moniker is attached to Dana Holgorsen, but that's just where he came from. It's not necessarily who he is, who he's shown to be really over the last 15 years, right? Texas Tech under Mike Leach was its own animal, right? That you can't write it off. That's who he was. He was calling the plays. He was involved in it. Kind of same with Houston, the couple of years he was there. But even again, the year that he had Brandon Weeden at Oklahoma State, a team that put up 44 points per game, he had a 53-47 pass run ratio. That's pretty darn close to 50-50 for a quarterback that threw for 4,300 yards, 34 touchdowns against 13 picks on 2/3 completion. Dana Holgorsen's not scared to run the ball, y'all.
There it is.
Let's see. Let's go to Brad. Brad says, what kind of a difference is Dana Holgorsen going to make if Nebraska still can't get open or run block? Your thoughts, Stricky?
I mean, see, but that's the thing I think when I look at the statistics that you just showed me. What I love about it is he's not locked. You can just tell that he's not locked, even when you look at the ratio. He's not locked into one particular style. I believe that if he realizes that, okay, our line is just not good enough, I'm going to spread these guys out, and I might go air raid just to give my quarterback a chance to be able to find a guy in a quick read and get the ball out quickly. And now the onus is on you to go beat a guy with a quick route.
Yeah.
Simple as that. I mean, let's be honest. I remember back when Texas Tech was playing. Michael Crabtree, he wasn't just housing people. He was winning short routes and taking short routes for 50, 60 yards.
Yep.
So go win a short route.
We'll get you one-on-one.
Nayor,
go win it.
Go win a short route and then use that speed to go do something with it. So I'm not saying that that's going to be the case. I'm saying I think he's going to try everything. I think you're going to see a freaking beef stew with everything in it, with sausage, potatoes, corn on the cob, all kinds. Just throw everything in the beef stew and stir. I think you're going to see that. I really do. Initially, so that he can figure out, what do I have here to really work with? Because I don't think he can just say that off of the offense of what he's seen.
No, I'm with you. And I think that, again, we have this discussion on, is it players, is it coaches? It's both, right? I tend to believe that the players are better than they've shown. I think they have to take some personal accountability, right? Man up and start playing better, right? You're a Division I athlete at Nebraska who plenty of other Power 5 schools, Power 4 schools wanted, go play like it. And I think they can be put in better positions with better coaching. Both things can be
the same.
I think both things have to be true, really. Earthquake Lou says, I'll take anybody off the Mike Leach tree. Love that attitude. Augie says, if Dylan Raiola isn't healthy enough to go and Heinrich Harburg is just average, would you want to see Daniel Kalin?
I'd see why not give him a shot. But I also would see how he can mix it up. And to me, he's shown that he has the ability to adjust. I think he can adjust an offense to make sure that it's effective. It might look a lot like what Indiana's look like. A lot of run pass option, because I personally can attest that I believe that Harburg is better. I saw he threw better balls, that if he would have threw some of the balls that he threw even last week, they would have won more games. And I'm not even going to attribute a lot of the issues to him. Great throw actually he fit it right between a safety and it just got tipped up and got intercepted. It just was unfortunate. And the stress of that whole situation, trying to drive down in 2 minutes, you just now getting in the game late and so forth and so on. So I can't even really fault him, but I can tell he made good throws. So I think he could run a style like what Indiana run pass, use him in the run. But I still think you can use him in fake runs and dump passes and all kinds of stuff. Make it look like Tebow to me. But I think he's capable of making those adjustments based on what is given.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
To me, if Heinrich Haarberg is just an average quarterback, that's a huge step in the right direction. Heinrich Haarberg was not an average quarterback last year.
No.
He was a below average quarterback, above average quarterback runner, but that's not the basis of what Nebraska wanted to do at its core, not what Nebraska wants to do this year either. So if Heinrich Haarberg is an average passing quarterback, he's essentially lighting the world on fire from anything we've seen from him so far. So if he's being average against USC, no reason to throw Kalen in there. And that's a heck of an environment and a heck of a set of stakes for a Nebraska kid in his first game. Now that we haven't seen Nebraska kids step up under similar or more pressure before, but I still think if Heinrich Haarberg is playing average quarterback football, that's a big step, and that's him showing improvement from what he did last year. 3450. How is Dana Holgorsen at development? We gave some of these names before to Strick. Dana Holgorsen doesn't rely on NFL players, right? When he has a Tavon Austin, a Stedman Bailey, a Michael Crabtree, he certainly uses them. But if I went up and down the list here for Dana Holgorsen, this is another category we didn't really get to. The leading running back for West Virginia, the years that you pointed out, they ran for 230 and 228 a game with over 4.8 yards per carry. Wendell Smallwood and Justin Crawford. Who's ever heard of those guys? Houston's leading running back, Alton McCaskill, Brandon Campbell, Baron Batch. Is that a name anyone remembers lighting up the NFL necessarily? No. Yeah, James Blackman, at Oklahoma State. That's going to help. Or Justin Blackman, at Oklahoma State, that's going to help. But David Sills never really caught on in the NFL. Really good college player. That's what Dana Holgorsen can do, is make guys really good college players because he knows how to use them. They can be effective in his scheme, even if they don't necessarily translate to what NFL teams want after they're done.
There it is.
So let's go to break. We might answer some more of your questions here. If not, we'll talk some NFL, or not NFL, some NBA. Crazy stuff going on. Cleveland, 8th team in history to start 12-0. Golden State ruined Stricky's night and Klay Thompson's night in his return to the Bay, and plenty more when we get back to On the Block.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The electrical workers of local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Midwest Bank is hosting our annual Thanksgiving food drive, partnering with local Lincoln schools to provide Thanksgiving dinners to families in need. We hope to provide meals for more than 120 families in our community this year. You can help by dropping off a donation at either Midwest Bank location, 7001 Pioneers Boulevard or 2655 Jamie Lane. Any donation is greatly appreciated. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, we figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Body Lab, located at 14th and Yankee Hill, is Lincoln's premier physical therapy and recovery lab. The Body Lab offers trigger point dry needling, cupping therapy, joint manipulation, and so much more. Looking to relax and relieve stress after a long day or difficult workout? The Body Lab's recovery lab is the ideal spot. Featuring infrared sauna, a cold plunge tub, or if you're just looking for enough space to stretch out and reset your mind. Learn more about memberships and schedule your service today at thebodylablnk.com. or visit the Body Lab in person at 14th and Yankee Hill Road.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, wanting to thank you all again for your continued service. November is off and running. Check this out. Get up to $12,000 off or 0% financing on select new vehicles. We have great lease specials with new Tracks and Trailblazers starting at $299 per month and new Blazer EVs leasing for $399. Great payments, discounts, and of course, 0% financing. So make that short drive down 144th Street or check us out online at coppellcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All finance with approved credit, leases with $2,500 down.
Fall is here, which means it's time to dive into a new lineup of autumn flavors at Wings and Rings. Your home away from home during football season. Their all-star lineup of wing sauces is adding 2 new impact players, curry garlic and pumpkin chili. Need something delicious before kickoff? How about starting your meal with their brand new chorizo nachos and loaded fries? You better act fast. These new tastes of autumn won't be here long. So make the trip to one of their 2 Lincoln locations today on O Street or Village Lane.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, showers likely throughout the day. It'll be breezy too with an afternoon high around 54. Tonight, mostly clear skies with an overnight low near 33. And tomorrow, we'll see more sunshine return along with lighter winds. An afternoon high around 59. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, take over $11,000 off a 2024 Ford F-150. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1004296, MSRP of $66,645. Must finance with Ford Motor Company and have a qualifying trade and approved credit. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 11/13/24. See delivery details.
Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday night from Concordia University as we bring you Class B playoff action as the Seward Blue Jays host the Omaha Catholic Skyhawks. Seward survived a scare against Gretna East last Friday and now face a 10-1 Skyhawks squad who defeated Waverly 38-21 on Friday. It's semifinal Friday with a trip to the Class B title on the line as the 2-seed Seward Blue Jays face the number 3 seed Omaha Catholic Skyhawks this Friday at 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Got around to answering some of your texts, your questions, and your comments on the text line about Husker football during the break. A couple more days to talk about that before the Huskers are on the road at USC. Afternoon kick. We will have pregame coverage for you, I believe at noon, like normal, for a 3 o'clock kick here on the Ticket. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland with you. Let's talk some NBA. been a minute since we've done some of this. Stricky, every so often, I get one right. You get it right pretty darn often, but, I get one right every so often.
Okay.
I called my shot on Cleveland. Yeah. 12-0 to begin the year. The 8th team in NBA history to accomplish that feat. Spida's balling. Evan Mobley's balling. Darius Garland looks good. They're making it work on the wing. How about them Cavs, baby?
Yeah, shout out to the Cavs. And look, and they beating the brakes off people. It ain't just like they're just skimping by. They're getting after it. So shout out to the Cavs, man. I knew that they were capable. It was just a matter of figuring out, one, how serious is Spida about staying in Cleveland? Is he committed? Is he bought in? 2, is Darius Garland okay with being Robin instead of Batman?
Mm-hmm.
And they were kind of going through that mix for a little bit. And Evan Mobley comes forth, and then they've got guys that just really understand their positions and their roles, and they're filling them, and they're doing it the way that a well-built team should be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to them.
Team that I was lower on coming into the year, but has arguably the best player in basketball, is the Denver Nuggets. Tricky, this is a team that really scuffled to start the
Started
year.
off bad. That's right.
But now, 7-1 in their last 8 games as of not long ago. And Nikola Jokic is playing some of the best basketball of his career, which is hard to do for as incredible as he's been, averaging 30 points per game, 14 rebounds per game, and 12 assists per game, with about 2.5 blocks and steals per game. Oh, and by the way, he's shooting 56% from 3. Nikola Jokic might have leveled up, and Denver needs him to, with how just shallow that rotation is.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, are you going to be able to keep and maintain the consistency from Jamal Murray? The man is averaging a triple-double right now for that team. And let's be honest, there's no one in the league. He's playing high minutes. There's no one in the league that can handle him when he's doing what he's doing. He's almost averaging 2 steals a game too. So he's doing it every which way. Now, he's not going to be the super block guy. It's not what he's going to do. He's a space eater.
Mm-hmm.
But he's getting solid play out of Porter. Jamal Murray is okay. Not bad.
He's around.
But who's been a good shining star for them has been Christian Braun. Mm-hmm. And now you've lost Aaron Gordon for a little bit. You don't know the full extent of how I don't know how long it is.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also got a slight resurgence out of Russell Westbrook. Now, the reason why I say that is to not be playing heavy minutes. It seems as if Russell understands his role. He's not trying to do too much. He knows that Jokic is the guy. He's giving him help in rebounding for the time. He's almost like second in, he's almost up there with guys like Gordon and not playing as many minutes as some of those guys are, where they're getting 30 minutes. He's getting 20, roughly 25, 30. So extra 5 minutes, but he's almost there. But his assist numbers is pretty strong. You would be happy. I mean, his assist numbers is better than Jamal Murray.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is, if he continues to just do that, they'll be fine. And they're just getting guys that are just fitting in how they fit on that team, man. Even, there was a couple times I think where DeAndre Jordan came in and just gave them a spell.
Out of nowhere.
Right? Excuse me. So they've come out where we were questioning them. We had no clue what they were going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, they're finding themselves back up there at the top.
Woo.
Looking at the top of the leaderboard.
Almost like Mike Malone's a good coach. I'm a Mike Malone guy. He kind of grinded his way up. He's made the most out of that roster. And I don't think he's necessarily to blame for the moves that the front office is making. We haven't really heard of much tension there, but I'm sure, Mike Malone would have loved to have kept someone like a Contavious Caldwell Pope around after his contributions. But Strick, we have this from 3027, who says he's a Thunder fan on the text line, but he says, Michael Porter Jr. has to step up for Denver. It's his statement year to step up.
They need it.
When you think about stepping up for Michael Porter Jr., does he need to expand his role and become the number 2 over Jamal Murray? Or does stepping up mean he gets more consistent in his role, becomes a more consistent defender and shooter?
I think that's it.
Second one?
I think it just needs to be a consistency about it. That when he shows up and he comes on the floor, you know exactly what to expect and what you're going to get. You know what I mean? It's not that he needs to emerge. I think he's playing the way that he should be playing for that team, and he's doing what he needs to do for that team right now. But just the consistency of it throughout. And again, it's always easier in season. Let me see how it is when they come into this tournament, how serious guys are.
Yeah.
When you're getting into the in-season tournament. And we'll see if that consistency remains, even though it's ugly and a lot of people don't like it. But okay, it is what it is.
Speaking of the in-season tournament, Stricky, Eric Spoelstra last night. Even the best of us get got sometimes. Did you see what happened between Detroit and Miami?
I missed it. Talk to me.
Stricky, it was real bad. I got to get this pulled up here because it was so un-Eric Spoelstra, right? Kind of towel, calm on the sideline, mastermind.
There's a guy named Avion Crockett. Have you ever seen him? You might need to look. I'm on the show.
I think I've heard the name before.
Avion Crockett, he does an impersonation of Spoelstra that's absolutely hilarious. It is the looks on his face. You look at him and I'm going to pull it up on the next break. It's hilarious.
So here's the thing. Miami takes the lead 121 to 119. Detroit gets the ball into the front court with just under 2 seconds to go. Cade Cunningham throws a lob to Jalen Duren to tie the game from out of bounds. So game's tied. Spo is heated. No pun intended. He's pissed. He tries to call a timeout, but they don't have one. He Chris Webbered himself. Okay. So Malik Beasley steps up, hits a free throw. Pistons go back in front. Then he tries to sub in Kevin Love for the inbounds pass, not remembering that since it was a technical, Pistons get the ball back. The Pistons hit another free throw, end up winning that game by a couple points. Eric Spoelstra is one of the best NBA coaches. I mean, he's a top 3 coach in the modern era, like since probably 2000. But he's an all-time NBA head coach. And even he got yesterday, Stricky. You don't see that.
Oh, man. Guys have their nights. Just say, let's just chalk it up as that's just what it is, guys. Guys have a night every now and then. And that's basically what I could say about it. Unfortunately. It is, guys sometimes lose focus.
Yeah.
Because it gets you've been doing it so long, and just sometimes, you get tricked up.
The funniest part was Jalen Rose was at that game, and there are some hilarious screenshots of Jalen Rose just going,
Oh, I've seen this before.
I saw that 30 years ago. It was really funny. By the way, shout out and thoughts, prayers, all that good stuff for Greg Popovich. Mild stroke. That's why he's been sidelined for the Spurs. Player injuries, though, Stricky. We've had a few of them out west just since Saturday. Kevin Durant, Zion Williamson, Ja Morant, and Chet Holmgren all going to be missing some time. Of those 4 injuries, which is the most impactful for the team in the race in the West?
You said Ja Morant,
KD,
Durant,
Zion, and Chet Holmgren.
And who's what? Who's the most what?
Impactful. The most meaningful, significant injury.
I personally think it's going to be KD. And the reason I say KD is because they don't have much to go from. I mean, who's there with them is who's there with them. And to lose one of the big 3, they don't have much depth like that. Now, somebody could step up. You hope somebody's ready to step up. You hope somebody's prepared to step up. You're off to a great start. No one believed you'd be even where you are right now at that type of a start. And to lose KD for like that could be tough. We'll see. Then I would say next would be, you said Ja and who?
Ja, Zion, and Chet.
I would say Chet. Just because he was playing so phenomenal, right? But they were smart and they built Hardenstein. They built
who hasn't played yet.
But they got it. They've got it ready.
Ready. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So they it's not gonna hurt as bad, but I still think because he was playing so well, but that team is so deep. And if that team wanted to, depending on what his situation is, they can go and get somebody because they've got assets to do it, right? Yeah. So I think it affects them not because of Chet being missing, but more so how well he was playing and so forth and so on. And then I would say Ja. I actually would probably say Ja and Chet about the same.
Mm-hmm.
And because he was on his, he was making a great return.
Ja was back.
Ja Wick. He was back. You know,
360 layups and everything.
Yeah. And Zion out there looking like Charles Barkley, my boy. He out there.
Don't do Chuck like that. Don't do Chuck like that. Come on. You know better. That's one of your OGs. Don't do Chuck like that.
No, I'm saying hefty cinch sack.
Yeah, but Chuck made it work.
No, but I'm saying not the Chuck of old.
Oh.
I'm talking about the Chuck of now. That Chuck.
Brutal.
They out here doing Ja. They out here doing Zion like what's her name? They did at South Carolina, Raven.
Oh yeah.
They just shoot. They out here got him out there looking like Ben Simmons right now. Like, we ain't even gonna cover you, my boy.
Brutal.
So I don't know, man. Is he done? Is he gonna turn into a bust?
Here's the biggest problem I think for New Orleans, Strick, is that they couldn't afford to give up on him because of the hype, because of the promise, because of the talent. But right now they can't afford to keep him. But right now you're selling low with all the injuries. Every offseason, there's a new commitment to conditioning and diet and whatnot. And some of it's just bad luck, right? I'd say the same thing for Kawhi Leonard, right? Some of it's just bad luck. But at some point, you have to swallow 5 months of bad PR for 5 years of success being set up because you made the tough decision. New Orleans didn't do that.
Yeah, they had a chance. They had a chance to move them, and now they're stuck.
Mm-hmm. And
they got nowhere to go.
No, because guess what? The only guy healthy in their rotation right now is Brandon Ingram. Alvarado hurt. Herb Jones hurt. Trey Murphy hurt. Valanciunas. No, I think he left. Anyways, basically their entire rotation outside of Brandon Ingram is hurt. You have nothing to build on, nothing to play for right now. You're 3-8. It's a problem. I would say the Zion one is probably a lower tier as well. The way Ja was playing, Memphis in the 6th seed right now.
Shout to Zach Edey.
How about him?
Balling.
Better after his first couple
good.
games.
I like Zach.
He is.
Let's go.
Chet's interesting to me because the Thunder had a starting lineup against the Clippers, Strick, with nobody taller than 6'6", and they won the game. They got murked on the glass, especially with offensive rebounds. But guess what? They forced 20 turnovers, and they ended up winning the game close.
Mm-hmm.
So it hurts to have Chet gone, but I think Dane Yalt's a pretty darn good coach for them as well. Got a lot of pieces, a lot of versatility. The reason I'm scared about KD being out for Phoenix is that Phoenix right now tied with Oklahoma City on top of the West and Golden State at 9-2. The Thunder have a point differential of 12. The Warriors have a point differential of 11. The Suns are winning close games like they didn't last year. Point differential of 2.7, under 3 points per game. And KD's their go-to guy in the fourth quarter to get buckets.
That part. That's the same way I was. That's why I think he's the one that hurts. I felt that same thing. Tough out here.
Sure is. What's not tough is one last segment on the show. We'll make it easy for you. Send you into old school in just a minute.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Go hog wild, barbecue.
It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at GoHogWild.com.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook. Their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Hey guys, it's Nick Sander. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday night from Concordia University as we bring you Class B playoff action as the Seward Blue Jays host the Omaha Skutt Catholic Skyhawks. Seward survived a scare against Gretna East last Friday and now face a 10-1 Skyhawks squad who defeated Waverly 38-21 on Friday. It's semifinal Friday with a trip to the Class B title on the line as the 2-seed Seward Blue Jays face the number 3-seed Omaha Skutt Catholic Skyhawks this Friday at 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, showers likely throughout the day. It'll be breezy too with an afternoon high around 54. Tonight, mostly clear skies with an overnight low near 33. And tomorrow, we'll see more sunshine return along with lighter winds. An afternoon high around 59. I'm meteorologist Kyle Butler for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, Ticket listeners, spend your Husker football Saturday at the P. Dale Pub in Pleasantdale, as the Jay Foreman postgame show will be broadcasting live for 90 minutes immediately after the Nebraska-USC football game. Ribeyes are on special for as long as supplies last, with plenty of cold beer on tap to enjoy during and after a Husker victory against the Trojans. It's the Jay Foreman postgame show, live from the P. Dale Pub in Pleasantdale, this Saturday, immediately following the Nebraska football game on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186. Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Body Lab, located at 14th and Yankee Hill, is Lincoln's premier physical therapy and recovery lab. The Body Lab offers trigger point dry needling, cupping therapy, joint manipulation, and so much more. Looking to relax and relieve stress after a long day or difficult workout? The Body Lab's recovery lab is the ideal spot. Featuring infrared sauna, a cold plunge tub, or if you're just looking for enough space to stretch out and reset your mind. Learn more about memberships and schedule your service today at thebodylablnk.com. Or visit the Body Lab in person at 14th and Yankee Hill Road.
You have a big investment in your farming operation. Let Landmark Implement help you get the most out of your equipment by investing in pre-season service inspections. Let our John Deere trained and certified technicians provide you with a complete list of repairs that will help your equipment perform better and deliver maximum performance. At Landmark, buy 3 equipment service inspections and get the 4th free. Contact your local Landmark service manager for details and experience the Landmark difference.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One final segment here on the block on a Wednesday. We are more than halfway through our week, just about halfway home to Nebraska and USC. Kickoff about 3 o'clock on Saturday. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland with you here. Going to the text line, we had Cubsker say the Bulls will offer Patrick Williams and a Portillo's meal deal for Zion. Yeah, I'd take that. Do you like Portillo's, Stricky?
I think he's solid.
I do too.
Yeah.
We need one here in Nebraska. That's what we need, in my opinion. I know it's regional, but I led with that text because we have to get to this one. I'm honestly surprised it took this long for this text to come in. 1515 says, Kentucky 77, Duke 72, Big Blue Nation. Let's get your reaction to the game, Stricky. What'd you see? What'd you think?
Well, let's just say this. You can't be even in every category across the board. For the most part, it was pretty consistent and even. And you shoot a 17 clip from 3 and expect to win. You only lost by 5.
Mm-hmm.
They shot 40% from 3, and you shot 17.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they shot better, they win by 6-8 points.
Which is what they were favored by.
But it didn't happen. So you took the L. That's literally what it comes down to. You can't shoot. You got more opportunities than they did. And it wasn't because your steal numbers were high. It wasn't because you out rebounded them. You only did that by 4 total. They passed the ball a little bit better than you.
Yeah.
Not more better. But better than you. And they attacked the rim a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So they shot a little bit more free throws at the same amount of clip that you did, 70%, 71% both. And they shot threes better. And you lose by 5.
I got a lot of reaction from my Kansas fan friends who won earlier in the night.
I'm sorry. They showed their depth because it wasn't even that their starters played well.
Yeah.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
They had better bench support.
Yeah.
Whereas they didn't even go very deep into Duke's bench. It was pretty much the starters, and they were hoping they could get going. They never did. But Kentucky's bench helped them to overcome what was also not a great shootout. Outside of Andrew Carr, it wasn't a great shooting night for Kentucky.
No, it really wasn't. Yeah, my reaction from the Duke side of things is that incredibly disappointing to be up 9 at half and lose that game. I don't think Duke took full advantage of what Kentucky was giving them. Obviously, I mean, you missed as many open threes as you did, even some shots around the rim. So, yes, I think a lot of it gets chalked up to shooting variance, right? Kentucky needed to shoot well from 3 to win this game with Duke's size advantage and ability to get into the paint. Kentucky shot well, Duke didn't. It's maybe a little reductionist to come to that, but ultimately at the end of the day, that's part of what it is. Here's the other thing, Strick. I didn't get to sit down and watch the entire game. I watched it back as best I could, but I turned it on for really the last couple of minutes, and the last 2 possessions for Duke really stand out to me. The one question that we've had about Cooper Flagg is how well can he create shots on the ball? What did Duke ask him to do, make him do at the end of the game? Create for himself. Now Cooper was playing a really good game. 26 and 12, 9 of 19 shooting overall. Not great from 3, but no one shot well from 3 for Duke there. I get why you want the ball in Cooper Flagg's hands. I'm not saying that's the wrong decision.
But how?
But on a sideline out of bounds play and then in transition, you have Tyrese Proctor with point guard experience. He's your 2 this year. You have Caleb Foster, who's running the point for you, available to outlet the ball to set something up. You go away from Con Knippel, who's a better ball handler. You give Cooper Flagg no action to set him up. You say, go create.
No,
that's his one weakness.
Yeah.
And part of that comes down to potentially, Duke maybe used its timeouts a little bit early, right? To try to stop some of these Kentucky runs early in the second half. Didn't have one available to call. But it's a veteran enough team with heady enough players that give the ball to your point guard, call something out real quick. You can still get it to Cooper Flagg.
Yeah.
But don't ask him to do everything, right? You saw the loose handle. You saw a little bit of the lack of shake and bake. So even if that's where Duke was going to get eventually, I'm kind of glad they didn't get rewarded for the horrible process that led to it.
Yeah. I mean, in those situations, that's not what you're going to ask of Dirk Nowitzki.
No.
You're going to go run some action, get him at that free throw line, face him up, and then pick your poison. Either you're going to come here, or I'm 1-2 dribbles to the rack, 1-2 to the one to the pull up, 2 to the step back. Whatever. Somebody either come and I'm dropping it off, and we're gonna live with what it is. You don't just let him. He's not KD.
No.
Let's be honest. He's not KD. Where KD can do stuff. You don't overly like him to, but he can.
Yeah. But again, it's rare. It's usually in secondary transition that KD's doing it on his own, or he's run some action to set up the matchup
get
you
it to
want.
him. Right. Yeah.
So no, I didn't understand that from John Shire. If you want more reaction on this game, tune in on Friday, 6 to 7. Corner 3 happens every week. Take a look around college basketball. We'll definitely talk some on the show as well. WTF tomorrow for Stricky.
Yeah, we'll be on.
But tonight, in just a few hours, we will be down at Pinnacle Bank Arena, Nebraska and Fairleigh Dickinson tipping off at 7 o'clock. We'll be back tomorrow on a Thirsty Thursday.
We love you guys.
Little topic pong because we love you guys. It'll be fun. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks to Nebco, Starter Heyman Jewelers, Atlo, all our fantastic people that sponsor the show, and you blockheads from the bottom of our hearts. We love you. Don't go anywhere. Old School DP and J comes your way in just a minute.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Over 75% of the patients that come to Limitless Male have been told over and over again by their primary care providers that their testosterone level is fine. Guess what? If you have all the symptoms of low testosterone, you're not fine. Come get a second opinion at Limitless Male. We have helped tens of thousands of men feel optimal again, and we can help you. Stop waiting. Come see the men's health experts. Book your free consult online at limitlessmale.com.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training.